It was a busy morning at Bean Bloom Café. Customers lined up for coffee, the smell of roasted beans filled the air, and the staff rushed from one order to another. A man in a plain jacket quietly stepped inside. No one recognized him. To them, he was just another customer. But that man was Ethan Cole, the owner and CEO of the cafe chain. He had built Bean Bloom from nothing, but recently, he'd received message after message about rude staff and poor service. Instead of sending managers to check, Ethan decided to see the truth himself, undercover. He joined the line, ordered a cappuccino, and took a seat near the window. That's when he noticed something odd. The manager leaned against the counter, scrolling on his phone, while a young waitress struggled to keep up with orders. A customer raised his voice. "I've been waiting 10 minutes." The waitress rushed over. "I'm so sorry, sir. We're doing our best." Ethan watched her, tired, polite, holding back frustration. She apologized again, but the manager didn't move an inch. Ethan's jaw tightened. He'd always promised respect for every employee, yet here he saw the opposite. Then he heard it. The waitress turned to another coworker and whispered 3 quiet words that froze him in place. "He's always watching." Ethan looked up slowly. She couldn't have known how true those words were. If you think this story's just getting started, you're right. What happens next will leave everyone in that cafe speechless. Before we continue, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because you won't believe what the CEO does next. Ethan stayed in the cafe for another hour, quietly watching everything unfold. The same waitress, her name tag read Lila, moved non-stop, smiling through exhaustion. She helped every customer, cleaned tables, and even covered for the barista when the machine broke. Meanwhile, the manager, Tom, barked orders from behind the counter but never lifted a finger. When a tray slipped from a new hire's hands, spilling coffee across the floor, Tom snapped, "Do you ever get anything right?" The entire cafe went silent. Lila quickly helped clean the mess while whispering, "It's okay, don't cry. I'll handle it." Ethan couldn't believe what he was seeing. This was the cafe that was supposed to stand for kindness and teamwork. When Lila brought him his coffee, he smiled. "Thanks, you work really hard here." She shrugged softly. "Someone has to. The customers deserve better than what we've got right now." Ethan tilted his head. "You mean the management?" Lila hesitated, glancing around. "Let's just say, not everyone here cares as much as they should." He nodded, pretending to be just another customer. "Well, keep your head up. Good things have a way of finding people who do the right thing." As she walked away, Ethan's phone buzzed. Another complaint email from a different branch. His mind was racing. If things were this bad here, what about the others? He decided right then, tomorrow he'd come back, not as a customer, but as someone ready to find out how deep the problem really went. The next morning, Ethan returned to the cafe before opening time. This time, he wore a maintenance uniform, pretending to be there for a quick equipment check. The staff barely noticed him as they prepared for the day. Tom, the manager, arrived 15 minutes late, carrying a cup from a rival cafe. He tossed his jacket on a chair and immediately began shouting orders. "Move faster! We open in 5! Lila was already working, organizing pastries and restocking the counter. When she asked Tom about the missing delivery payment from last week, his voice turned sharp. "Don't question me, Lila. Maybe focus on not dropping plates for once." Ethan watched quietly, pretending to adjust a coffee grinder. Then he noticed something worse. Tom opened the register and slipped a few bills into his pocket. No one else saw, but Ethan did. Minutes later, a supplier walked in with an invoice. Tom glanced at it, then lied right to his face. "Payment? Yeah, accounting messed it up. You'll get it next week," Lila frowned. "That's not true, Tom. I processed that payment myself." Tom glared at her. "One more word, and you're out of here." Ethan's hands tightened around his clipboard. He was done watching. But before leaving, he heard Lila's trembling voice from the back room. She was on the phone, whispering through tears. "I can't lose this job. Mom's treatment depends on it." Ethan stopped cold. For the first time, it wasn't just about company values or bad management. It was personal. He looked back at the cafe and made a decision. Tomorrow he wouldn't walk in as a customer or a repairman. He'd walk in as the CEO. The next morning, the cafe buzzed with its usual chaos. But this time, when the door opened, everyone went silent. Ethan walked in wearing a tailored suit, calm but confident. Tom squinted, half smiling. "Corporate inspection?" "About time," Ethan nodded slightly. "Something like that." He walked to the center of the cafe. "Everyone, can I have your attention for a moment?" The staff gathered, uncertain. Lila wiped her hands nervously on her apron. Ethan took a breath. I'm Ethan Cole, founder and CEO of Bloom Café. For a second, no one moved. Then all at once, gasps, whispers, wide eyes. Tom's smirk disappeared. Ethan continued, his tone steady. For the past week, I've been visiting several locations. I wanted to see how our values look when no one's watching. What I saw here disappointed me deeply. Tom quickly jumped in. Sir, there must be a misunderstanding. These kids don't listen. Ethan raised a hand. Enough, he looked at the team. I'm here to hear the truth. No consequences. Just honesty, silence. Then Lila spoke, voice trembling but firm. We work hard, sir, but sometimes it feels like it doesn't matter. We get yelled at for things that aren't our fault. And tips, they go missing. Ethan nodded slowly. Thank you, Lila, Tom scoffed. She's exaggerating. Ethan reached into his pocket and placed his phone on the counter. Actually, I saw it all myself. The staff exchanged shocked glances. Tom froze. Ethan's voice hardened. Tomorrow, there'll be a full audit. Anyone who's been dishonest will answer for it. The room fell silent. For the first time, everyone realized the boss was truly watching. The next day, the entire cafe was tense. Word had spread that the CEO himself was returning with a corporate team. When Ethan walked in, every eye followed him. This time he wasn't alone. 2 HR officers stood by his side. Tom tried to act confident. Good morning, sir. We're ready to… Ethan interrupted calmly. Let's skip the act, Tom. We've reviewed your numbers, your receipts, and the footage. Tom blinked. Footage? Ethan held up his phone. The footage I recorded while posing as a maintenance worker. He pressed play. The entire cafe heard Tom's voice echo. Yelling at staff, pocketing cash, lying to suppliers. Gasps filled the room. Ethan looked straight at him. This company was built on respect. You broke that, Tom's voice cracked. It was just a mistake. No, Ethan said firmly. It was a choice. And choices have consequences. HR stepped forward. Tom, your employment is terminated effective immediately. The cafe fell silent as Tom stood frozen, then turned and walked out, eyes down. Ethan turned back to the team. You all deserve better. From today, every location will get new leadership training and fair tip distribution. You've all earned it. Lila's eyes filled with tears. Thank you, sir. I didn't think anyone would care. Ethan smiled softly. You cared, Lila. That's what kept this place alive. He paused, then added with a knowing look. And remember what you said? He's always watching. You were right, but not for the reason you thought. The cafe erupted in relieved laughter and applause. The storm had passed, and for the first time in months, everyone felt proud to work there again. Weeks passed, and the cafe began to transform. Customers noticed the difference immediately. Faster service, brighter smiles, and a calmer atmosphere. For the first time, people came not just for the coffee, but for how it felt to be there. Ethan visited again, quietly sitting at his favorite table near the window. Lila, now wearing a new badge that read Assistant Manager, walked over with a smile. Cappuccino? She asked. Ethan chuckled. You remembered. She placed the cup in front of him. We've been getting so many good reviews lately. The new manager actually listens to us. That's great to hear, Ethan said. You've earned every bit of this success. Lila looked around proudly. Feels like a whole new place. Then, after a pause, she smiled softly. Thank you for seeing what we couldn't say out loud. Ethan nodded. You didn't need to say it. You showed it. For a moment, they both sat in silence, surrounded by the sounds of laughter, steaming milk, and the hum of happy customers. Before leaving, Ethan turned and said, Keep this spirit alive. Lila, you're what this company stands for. She grinned. And you're what good leadership looks like. Ethan smiled back. Maybe, but it all started with 3 words I'll never forget. He's always watching. As he walked out the door, the camera lingered on Lila, serving customers with pride. Proof that integrity and kindness still matter. If you were in Lila's place, would you have spoken up? Comment below what you'd do. And if you believe honesty can change everything, hit subscribe for more real stories that prove good still wins.